Welcome to Gators Daily. My name is John Ingham. We are presented by FanArch, and Sumrall and Caldwell, our head coach and our GM, sat down for an interview this weekend. Jack's Action News or First Action Sports, something like that. But it's on YouTube, 25, 30 minutes. They talk about it. That's what we're getting into today. They lift open the hood, give us an idea of what's going on behind the scenes, how this Florida program is now running, what is running the Florida program, what they're prioritizing, the things that are important. So we're going to get into a few of those things. I think it's really important. It's more proof. We've been talking about a lot of evidence. What is the evidence? Why can we be excited? Why is it more than just hype? What are the actual things that are proving to us, that are reasons to get excited about heading into this season, rather than just, we have a new coach, this is a new start, it's a breath of fresh air. We want more than that. We want to be back. We want Florida to be winning again. So how close are we? They lifted up the hood. They talked about it. They talked about how Florida is being run. They talked about the adjustments with NIL. So we're going to get into it. Obviously, the interview is there. Go watch the interview, go see the interview, see how they're talking. But here's what I think it means. Here's what I think is important. They revealed the structure of it. They're sort of talking about how our football system is going to operate. So our GM, Dave Caldwell, has said our model now is more NFL-ish than maybe the conventional college model was. So he's open about that, adjusting to the new NIL paradigm, the new NIL world. Not a college program, but an NFL model with players getting paid, players negotiating contracts, working with agents, dealing with high school coaches, whatever it is, sponsorship deals. They've got a limited amount that can come from the university, and then the rest of it has to come from marketing deals. So how can we organize those in a way that benefit those businesses, benefit the players, benefit us, and get players paid appropriately and as much as we can, so we can have the best players, to develop. That's a completely different game, additional game now, than coaching the players once they get there, convincing the players that you're going to develop them, convincing the players to come there, and then developing them when they get there, putting them in spots to be successful. So completely new aspect of college football. And we're finally adjusting to that. We have a GM now. We have someone who, that is his role. He's hiring people in order to make that happen. He's hiring people in order to make it successful so we can do those things and the coaches don't have to worry about it. So he was the Jaguars GM, so it hits home for some Jaguars fans. He did not do very well there. He did draft an unbelievable draft class with Jalen Ramsey and Miles Jack and the team that went to the AFC championship game against the Patriots, and then did not do well there. Did not handle free agency well, whatever. Got fired, went to Philly, part of the administration under Howie Roseman. So he was there watching them draft great players, develop great players, handle the contracts. They won a Super Bowl, went to another Super Bowl. So he was there for 5 years, figuring it out, getting used to what a championship level was. And they're spending, the salary cap in football is up to 150, 160 million, something like that, for the football players. So it's a lot less at Florida, a lot less to manage, but it's different, and we needed a professional avenue to it. We needed a professional aspect, a professional mindset, and we finally have that. So it's no longer just who's your head coach and are they going to run the whole program and can they handle everything, and who knows if players were getting paid before 2018, 2016. Reggie Bush got his Heisman taken away for getting paid. So we know people were, how they were, I don't know. So what was that system? Now it's all out in the open. Now it's a business. Now these programs, these football programs, are worth being evaluated as sports franchises. NFL franchises are worth billions of dollars. So how much is Texas football worth? It needs to be run appropriately. How much is Florida football worth? It needs to be run appropriately. We finally have a GM. We finally have that person there that can do it. And Dave Caldwell is not the best, or was not the best received hire, or the person that was at the top of the list, but he is our GM, and so far so good. He's open, he's transparent. They're having this interview with the head coach. He worked with Philly after he had his struggles in Jacksonville. He worked in Philly at a successful franchise, so I think he's important. The fact that we have this new structure, the fact that we have a GM in place to run all of the stuff outside of the football is important. We're committing to that. We're accepting that. We're accepting that that's an important thing that we need to do. And so the GM having that relationship, having that level of importance at Philly, and then moving on to now be the GM of Florida and being in charge of that program at Florida is a big step up in his career, and he's got a chance. And whether he stays at Florida or goes back to the NFL or whatever, I hope people are looking at him. That means he's doing a good job, but it'll be exciting to see that Sumrall can focus on coaching and recruiting and empowering his players and his coaches, which is the most important thing. We've gone over that a lot. Empowering his people is the most important thing to him. So he can do that if he doesn't have to worry about who's getting paid, how they're getting paid, all that stuff. That's for the agents, for the GM, for the people working under the GM. I don't know how many people he has working under him, but how many people he has working under him and them to figure out all of those things that aren't related to how they play on the football field or whether or not they're going to come to Florida, which some of them have to do with whether or not they're coming. But so refreshing to see. And Sumrall said it in the interview. The Florida front office has 70-plus years of combined NFL personnel experience. So coaches are handling the high school recruiting, the relationships, but the front office handles the agents, the deals, the contracts, the payroll. Personnel handles personnel. So that's how the NFL works. That's now how Florida's going to work. We've hired NFL people to come in and help run our program from the back end. That's very exciting. That's very promising, So we hired the senior personnel director for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's who it was. Who needs to direct personnel? That's exactly what GMs in college football need to do. Figure out where personnel are going, how we can interact with the personnel, with recruits, with their parents, with the agents, everything. So that's exciting, and we were getting left behind. Texas Tech's a great example. Indiana's a great example. Texas Tech is building aggressively in the transfer portal, in NIL. They're going hard after expensive guys. The D-line was their focus last year. I don't know what it is this year, but they have a great NIL operations. They have a lot of money. They have people in charge. They have people running it. They adjusted really quickly. Indiana adjusted in 2 years. Went playoff last year with Signetti. Maybe it's more about the coach, but they're certainly spending money. The Big Ten's making a ton of money. Indiana's going to spend. Indiana's making more money in TV contracts than Notre Dame. Vanderbilt's making more money in TV contracts than Notre Dame because these big TV contracts that the Big Ten and the SEC are getting. So it's not difficult to turn around. It's, are you organized enough to manage it? Are you organized enough to do it? Ohio State's been operating with the NFL-style structure for years. Georgia, Alabama, and they've been successful for a long time. So can you manage this new transition into the NIL period? And Florida has not. And now, for the first time ever, we are actually trying to. For the first time ever, we're actually adjusting to the new landscape that is college football. So that's exciting. I'm excited for us to get that figured out. I'm excited for the coach's job to finally be the coach and not have to do everything. Or, Mullen famously put it away. He didn't want to recruit. He didn't want to think about it. Leading into that Florida-Georgia game, he's like, no, I'm not recruiting. Kirby Smart's talking about how bummed he is that has to be a neutral site game because it prevents players from coming to that game. It diminishes his recruiting capabilities. Are you kidding me? Mullen didn't care. That's the difference between how these programs are run. We finally have people in charge of our program that are thinking about those details, that are excited about those little things. So yeah, I'm excited about that. This interview opened up a lot and told us a lot about how serious they are about Florida football adjusting to this new landscape. So that's exciting. I'm excited to figure out who Caldwell is as a Gator GM. As a Jaguars GM, a little difficult. I'm from Jacksonville. I'm a Jaguars fan. I didn't love him, but we did have a pretty good team under him. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a homer. Maybe I'm just being hopeful. Of course I am. But it's good. And then another thing he said, another important thing that to get to Sumrall that Sumrall said was that there's 111 players, and over the course of them, there is 1,332 pounds of positive body composition shift. So lean muscle gained or fat lost combined. So how much muscle have you gained? How much fat have you lost? Combine it. 1,332 pounds between the 111 players. So 12 pounds per player. So on average, our players have either gained muscle or lost fat in the name of 12 pounds. That's a big deal. You're either getting fitter or you're getting stronger, or probably both. They're probably doing a lot of both. That is a big deal. That's 4 months. So we talked about them getting in the weight room. We talked about them being physical. This is a stat that we can look that is proof that they are getting bigger, that the physicality was lackluster, that we didn't know what we were doing. I mean, 12 pounds per player, lean muscle gained or fat loss combined. 12 pounds per player. That's a big deal. That's what Sumrall said, 1,332 pounds of positive body composition shift. They're measuring that. So Florida's head nutritionist, Jake, he said it, his exact quote, he hasn't seen anything like this. He's never seen a transformation like this. Now, I'll tell you what, my first thought is, how bad could it have been? What were we doing in the weight room? You know, that his Troy team and Tulane team were stronger and fitter and better off than our Florida Gator team has been the last 4 years. I mean, he was at Troy. He created the NIL system at Troy, created fundraising, and was like, hey, guys, you need to do this because I can't. Went to Tulane, had the physicality figured out, got some more funding, has lived in the NIL era, and then comes to Florida. It's like, not only do y'all have no idea what you're doing with the NIL and haven't done anything, and we're getting that standard up, but we're also going to change the physicality in the weight room. The two massive adjustments we've needed to make, get us caught up into this era of college football. Can we be more physical? That's always been important in football. So can we change that? A foundation that's never been different. Can we be more physical? And then can we adjust this new era where they're openly being managed like professional programs? I mean, eventually you're going to see these programs split from schools. The players don't need to go to class. They can if they want to, but what's the point? They're employees. They shouldn't be required to go to class. So there'll be things that change in that sense. But the idea that we hadn't adjusted to that we hadn't had that figured out, that we hadn't had an NIL, a program that had adjusted to the NIL period, and we hadn't had a program that was physical enough to play football period, those are big adjustments, and they've been proven, right? We are looking for proof. This is no longer just hype. This is no longer just honeymoon phase, new coach, breath of fresh air. This is now real proof that we can get excited about, that we can see firsthand, be different about this season when we get there. So that's big. That's big. We are physically a different team. Give us 4 more months. I know it's summer and then fall, but give us 4 more months. Maybe that changes a little bit more. And then you're looking at 20 pounds shifted per player over the course of 8-9 months. That is a massive difference. One player, imagine a receiver that's already pretty lean and they're gaining 6-8 pounds of muscle and moving that much quicker, being able to catch it that much tougher, being able to get through routes, break out of tough coverage. I mean, it's a benefit everywhere. So I'm excited about that. That's really cool. And then the last thing I want to get to is the thing that Sumrall keeps saying is wake the beast. He keeps saying it's waking up right now. It's happening within our team, within our locker room, on the recruiting trail. I don't know when it's going to be at full strength, but we're waking the beast up. It's not optional. It's mandatory. So he talks about the beast waking up. And he doesn't say we hope to compete. He doesn't say if we work hard. He doesn't talk about the process. He says, I've got an expectation to win every game we play. I've got an expectation to win every game. And in this thing, anybody that tells me I'm bowl eligible, I'm like, yeah, we better be. That's the lowest of expectations. We want to win football games. We want to get to the playoff. So he's not saying trust the process, blah, blah, blah. He's saying, no, we have an expectation to win. There was a comment the other day on one of the videos about us being impatient. We have been impatient. This guy is not impatient. This guy has no patience. He is impatient. He's ready to win football games, and he has no excuses. We are going to win football games. And I've said for the past 3 weeks since this show started, we've got to be careful about and pump the brakes a little bit on the season. And if we're 7-5, that's not a bad thing. If we're 6-6, 4-8, that is. But 7-5, depending on how the losses go, depending on the improvements we see, that's not a bad thing. Summerall will have none of that. Summerall wants to be 1-0 against FAU. He wants to 1-0 against Campbell. He wants to win those SEC games off the bat. I mean, he wants to win every single football game. Give him 3-4 weeks of us playing football and coaching and being able to adjust. I think we're going to be a really good football team, a fundamentally sound football team, a team that's hard to beat. We may not go into Austin and beat Texas, but we got a chance against Georgia. We play Oklahoma at home. We have those 4 SEC games at the beginning against teams that all have the same expectations we do. 7-5 and a 9-3. Who knows? So we could very easily get this program back, wake the beast up. I love that. So that's what Summerall says. That's what we're doing. That's what he's doing. Hit the like button if you appreciated this. Subscribe, please, if you want to see more. And then leave a comment. But otherwise, go Gators. I'll talk to you soon.